Hey there and welcome to SI Now. It's Wednesday, February 1st, and I'm Ryan Aselta. Coming up on today's show, we'll catch up with Atlanta Hawks All-Star forward Paul Millsap. Plus, we're going to take a look at how National Signing Day has helped the Alabama Crimson Tide avoid ever missing a beat. But we kick off today's show by continuing our countdown to Super Bowl 51. Before we left for Houston to cover the big game, I caught up with the big guy who has been with me every step of this NFL season, Super Bowl champion Chris Canty. All right, Chris, you played in this game, the Super Bowl, the pinnacle, 2012, a member of the New York Giants when you defeated the Patriots. Tom Brady, Bill Belichick.
Say that again?
Yeah. Super Bowl champion over the Patriots back in 2012.
But defeated Tom Brady, right?
Tom Brady,
yeah,
Belichick.
The only franchise to beat Tom Brady and Bill Belichick in the Super Bowl, by the way. Just got to put that out there.
2 times in franchise history they beat them, right?
Is it going to happen this week?
Yeah, the Giants certainly are going to beat them.
No, I'm talking about with the Falcons.
We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. Let me ask you about your week, though. That week in Indianapolis. What's the one memory that sticks out when you think it's Super Bowl week? We're counting down now. What do you think about from your time?
Well, you know what? I guaranteed a Super Bowl win that week. And it just happened by accident. You know, one of the local reporters, sports personalities in New York City asked me a question in terms of what can we expect for the game. And I said, you can expect a physical game. I gave him the whole Rasheed Wallace. Both teams will play hard. And then I said, the fans in New York can expect a parade on Tuesday. And obviously, if you're having a parade, that means you won the Super Bowl. So that became instant bulletin board material for the New England Patriots. But thankfully, the guys in the locker room had my back. We were able to go out there and cash the check that I wrote for the entire team.
You backed it up. You, Joe Namath, New York history, Super Bowl guarantees.
Hey, not bad company to be in.
Not bad. All right, you're heading down to Houston later this week.
Yep.
What's the one storyline between the Patriots and Falcons that you're looking forward to kind of seeing play out this week?
Well, the legacy of the quarterbacks. That's what it's really all about, right? Tom Brady fighting for that number one spot in terms of the quarterbacks that have played in the National Football League, being considered the greatest of all time. Right now, tied with Joe Montana with 4 Super Bowl wins. He's looking to take that next step and make it a 5th. And then looking at Matt Ryan, right? Legitimizing his career, right? Talking about his legacy, cementing him with the best quarterbacks of the day. And you start talking about him having the perception and not being able to show up when the lights are brightest, when the platform is the biggest. This game goes a long ways in terms of establishing him as one of the elite quarterbacks in the National Football League. We understand what he's done in the regular season in terms of playing at an MVP caliber level, but this definitely puts him over the top and puts everybody on notice that Matt Ryan is no fluke. He's a guy that's capable of winning the championship.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you about both teams specifically here. Same question. When we start with the Patriots, what has to happen in this game for the Patriots to win their 5th Super Bowl title?
Well, the Patriots have got to take care of the football, and by that I mean they've got to take care of Tom Brady first and foremost. They can't allow the pass rush of the Atlanta Falcons, Vic Beasley and Dwight Freeney and company, Brooks Reed, to rattle Tom Brady, create strip sacks, force errant throws that lead to turnovers. An opportunistic group on the side of the Atlanta Falcons on the defensive side of the ball. They're a fast defense, but they don't have a great deal of experience. 7 of their 11 starters on that side of the ball are second-year players or younger. So I think that's something that Tom Brady and company can take advantage of if they don't turn the football over.
All right, let me ask you about Atlanta. What's the one must in this game that has to happen for the Falcons to win?
They've got to be able to sustain drives, and that's get the first down on the first drive, and then you continue to do that. They've scored on 8 consecutive opening game drives, and they've got to continue to have that momentum because they want to play from ahead, especially with an experienced team like the New England Patriots. Win on first down, create second and manageable, third and manageable, be able to convert on third downs, and then when you get in the red zone, they've also got to be able to convert, score touchdowns and not field goals. And it doesn't hurt to keep Tom Brady on the sideline, play a little bit of keep away there because you know that Tom Brady's going to exploit an inexperienced defense. So I think the Atlanta Falcons offense, Matt Ryan and company, they have to do a great job of being able to sustain drives.
We talked a lot about the quarterbacks. Tom Brady, you laid a good shot on him in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan, you have faced Matt Ryan. I don't know if you got a good shot on Matt Ryan. Let's take a look at this picture, Chris. This is with the Ravens. You're not quite making contact with Matt Ryan there. And the reason I bring this up because it's prediction time.
Wow.
You've been giving the Falcons, a hard time all season
long. You're
long.
Take it there. I
Canty.
can't believe he's going to do it. No, he didn't.
Here's the deal, man.
No, he didn't.
It is time. It is time you give Matt Ryan, the Atlanta Falcons, some love right here on SI Now.
Wow.
We've taken 16 weeks of the regular season.
You've been waiting to do this, haven't you? You've been planning on this.
You've
been hoping that the Falcons would get to this point where I would have to acknowledge the Atlanta Falcons.
Are you ready? Are you ready to
Listen,
acknowledge?
listen. Well, you kept the tag on the jersey for a reason. Because once they
I gotta
lose,
give you the
once they
receipt.
lose
You're
in the
paying for
Super
this
Bowl,
thing, yes.
you're going to take it back. If they win the game, I'll pay for it myself. If they lose, you got to go take it back.
Our producers heard that.
Okay.
It is time for the prediction.
Okay.
Are you picking the Atlanta Falcons, Matt Ryan? Are you picking them to win the Super Bowl, or
Listen,
are you
listen.
staying with the New England Patriots?
It takes a man to admit when he's wrong. I was wrong about this year's Atlanta Falcons team. It's not the Falcons of the past. This is a different group. Dan Quinn has got those guys playing with a ton of confidence. I love what they're building on the defensive side of the ball. They're flying around. They say the ball finds energy, and that's what those guys do on that side of the ball. They tackle very well, and I think with each passing week, they gain a little bit more swagger, a little bit more experience, and that bodes well for them moving forward. But I'm not talking about in Super Bowl 51, especially against Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. I'm going to go with the guys that have been there, that have done that. They've got experience in terms of being able to handle these 2 weeks leading up to the game. You give Bill Belichick 2 weeks to game plan, and then offensive coordinator Kyle Shanahan loses the team's game plan playbook at the media day. Just say, I'm just putting it out there. I don't necessarily feel like that's a good omen for the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to go with the New England Patriots. I'm going to call the game 27-20 Patriots.
All right, so you're going with 27-20. You're giving a lot of respect to this Falcons team, but you're not picking them to win.
They earned that respect, though. Big ups to the Atlanta Falcons, Dan Quinn, what they've done this season.
Almost enough respect to get a prediction in their favor, but no. Let's show that picture again, though. In your defense, you were with Matt Ryan here. I believe this was a preseason game.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to dog you too bad.
I'm not going to lay the guy out in the preseason game.
But this is really, you closer to number 2 right here with me standing next to you than you did with Matt Ryan right there.
Wow. Well, I put a pretty good shot on him on the year that we had our Super Bowl run.
All right.
We played the Atlanta Falcons at home in MetLife. Just saying.
Good memories, Chris Canty.
Yeah, absolutely.
Happy Super Bowl week,
absolutely.
man.
Enjoy
All
it.
right.
It's going to be a great game.
All right, thanks. Always great fun to poke the big guy. He is such a good sport, though he's not picking those Falcons on Sunday. Cannot believe it. All right, I'll be back in just a minute with Atlanta Hawks forward Paul Millsap. But first, in honor of National Signing Day, here's a look at how the Alabama Crimson Tide have made winning football an annual tradition.
Few teams have dominated any sport like Alabama has in college football in recent years, winning 4 of the past 8 national titles. While some fans might believe recruiting is overrated, Alabama's proof that it may not be. No team in the country has brought in more 4- and 5-star recruits than Alabama, which has signed nearly twice as many as Clemson, who they played in back-to-back national title games. The Crimson Tide have finished with a top-ranked class in 2 of the past 3 years and never lower than 4th since 2011. Also, Saban's Alabama teams have only finished lower than 7th once during his tenure, and that was back in 2007, his first recruiting class, which signed just after he left the Miami Dolphins to take the Alabama job. So, all in all, it's still Saban's world, and we're all just living in it, unless, of course, you're Deshaun Watson.
All right, to the NBA now. When you ask fans who the best power forward in the league is, you hear names like Blake Griffin, Draymond Green, and LaMarcus Aldridge. A name you don't hear quite as much, though, is Paul Millsap. I recently caught up with the Atlanta Hawks big man who, despite loading up stat sheets on a nightly basis and earning a 4th All-Star appearance, may just be the most underrated player in the NBA. All right, Paul, you're coming off a marathon game against the Knicks on Sunday. 4 overtimes, which makes you today's adrenaline performer presented by Toyota. Let's go places. 37 points, 19 boards, 7 assists. Paul, you logged 60 minutes of playing time. That tied a franchise record and became just the 13th player in 34 years to play 60. Tell us, how much fun and at the same time, how exhausting was it playing in a game like that?
Well, it's definitely fun now that we won it. I don't know how much fun it would have been if we would have lost. So I'm glad we won the game. It was very exhausting. My body didn't feel as bad afterwards like I thought it was, but still it was a fun game. I was glad I was part of it.
Yeah, any extra aches and pains, soreness after a game like that?
Nothing unusual than the normal. After every game, we bang and we fight every single night. So nothing unusual.
Amazing. All right, now you're headed to your 4th All-Star game this season, and this one's going to be played in your home state. You're being hit up by people back home to come down and see you play the All-Star game?
Oh, yeah. Same as my first All-Star game was in New Orleans. So about the same amount.
All right, cool. Your team currently playing some terrific basketball right now. Only a couple games out of the 2 seed in the Eastern Conference, despite trading Kyle Korver. What makes this Hawks team different than in years past?
I think we're a very competitive group. We got some young guys. We added Dwight, who's a terrific rebounder. I think in that aspect that helps us out because at the end of the day, we're going to run our system. We're going to run our stuff. Just like last year's team ran it, we're just going to do the same thing we've been doing.
Talk about some of the differences. You mentioned Dwight Howard. How much can be attributed to him on and off the court? Tell me about the role he's played with you guys.
Yeah, on the court, his rebounding has been terrific. He's helped our team out a lot in that aspect. And just being a big body down there, you get a guy who you can throw lobs to. So he gave us another dimension to our offense and to our defense this year. And off the court, I think everybody knows who Dwight is. He's a fun, lovable guy. He's a good person to have in your locker room. He's always happy. So it's good to have him around.
Do you think that gets lost sometimes? He takes so much heat from fans and the media. Is there a Dwight Howard that we don't see in the public that you guys see? You mentioned a fun, jovial type of guy.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, he's misunderstood. He's a guy that loves everybody, man. He loves everybody. He wants to have fun. He wants to make everybody happy. I think that gets a little misconstrued, in the media and to people on the outside looking in. But for us, as his teammates, we love him having him around.
All right, it's the time of year. Trade rumors are flying. Your name's come up a little bit over the past couple of months, but the Hawks did something very rare. They actually assured you that a deal will not be made and that you were staying put. Personally, for you, what did that mean for you?
It means a lot. It means a lot. Knowing that I don't have to relocate my family or relocate myself away from my family. Knowing that I can just get out there and just focus on basketball and not worry about all the extra noise outside of it. So it means a lot, I can just focus on basketball and helping this team win games.
All right, Paul, you, of course, play in Atlanta. The Falcons are playing for the Super Bowl on Sunday against the Patriots. Falcons fever, I'm sure, is taking over the city. Have you seen anything crazy? Is the city just got a special buzz about it over the last couple days?
Yeah, over the last couple weeks, actually, man, the city's been crazy. I'm not gonna say I'm rooting for the Falcons. I'm definitely going for the Falcons. I hope they win the Super Bowl, and I really think they will.
Yeah, how about a prediction? You got the Falcons winning this game over the Patriots?
I got the Falcons winning 31-27.
Ooh, that's going to be a good game if it plays out that way, Paul. Good stuff. I'm sure you'll be watching. We'll be watching you as well. Good luck the rest of the way. And Paul Millsap, we appreciate you joining us.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
All right. I tell you, stats just don't lie. Through 45 games this season, Millsap is averaging 18 points, 8 boards, 3 assists, a steal, and a block per game for the 28-20 Hawks. All right, now let's get back to our coverage of Super Bowl 51. Our own Maggie Gray is in Houston for the week and had a chance to catch up with many of the Patriots and Falcons players and play a little game with the guys. Can the stars of the big game decipher which news is real and which is fake? You be the judge.
Real news or fake news, Gronk once got paid $30 to be a male stripper. It's hard to tell what's real anymore between facts and alternative facts, so we asked these Super Bowl teams what's real and what's fake. Matt Ryan's first ever pass in the NFL was a touchdown. Real news or fake news?
It's real news.
100% real news. You know that happened. Tom Brady was drafted by the Montreal Expos out of high school. Is that real news or fake news?
It's fake.
I think that is true. I heard that news today.
That is real news.
Yeah, I heard it today while I was asleep. I just heard it in the background, so yeah.
You're dreaming about Brady. That's okay. Did you know that before Arthur Blank co-founded Home Depot, he actually was a New York City tour guide?
Real news.
I don't even know. Real news.
Before he bought the Atlanta Falcons, there was another group that was bidding to buy the team, and they were fronted by Andre 3000 and Big Boy.
Real news.
Question about Martellus and Michael Bennett. Real news or fake news? When they were both at Texas A&M, they once switched uniforms and played each other's position for a half. Nobody noticed.
That's got to be real. Oh, I hope that's fake news.
I believe they did that. I really believe they did. I say true.
The hard thing is I don't remember if that really happened or not. Texas A&M, that was a long time ago. We had a lot of trippy moments, but I'm going to say that that did not happen. We're a lot alike in a lot of ways. I'm just more handsome.
Do you know that Julio Jones' real name is Quintoris? Real news or fake news?
Real. Fake.
Is it real news or fake news that Rob Gronkowski was once paid $30 to be a male stripper? Is that real or fake?
I think that's fake because he's worth a little bit more than that. You see his abs? Dang, Rob, you got to do better than that.
Rob Gronkowski once found a date for his brother's wedding at a Las Vegas nightclub. Real news, fake news?
Real.
Real?
It's in his autobiography. Rob Gronkowski once woke up and someone's teeth, yes, teeth, were on his kitchen counter. To this day, he doesn't know whose they are. Is that real news or fake news?
Fake.
Nope, that one is also real. It's also in the autobiography. Okay, your owner, Bob Kraft. Real or fake, he is heir to a macaroni and cheese fortune.
You know, I always thought that when I asked already, so I know that's fake, but I really thought that when I first got here.
I hope he is, so I'm going to go real news on that one.
Did you know that your coach, Dan Quinn, was a champion hammer thrower in college? Is that real news or fake news?
That's fake news.
Gotcha. That is real, and we're sending this tape to your coach.
Oh, he's a beast. I don't put it past him.
Final one for you guys. Real news or fake news? Now huddle in. This one's important. Deflategate.
I mean, fake news.
Never heard of it.
Thanks to Maggie. She, of course, will be with us all week long from Super Bowl 51. And tomorrow we're going to keep pushing towards Super Sunday with a look back at Super Bowl III as seen through the eyes of two of Sports Illustrated's greatest photographers, a legendary broadcaster, and that game's MVP. Here's a taste of the SI Now exclusive Super Bowl III through the Sports Illustrated lens.
These lovely homes are found in Fort Lauderdale, another fast-growing resort town, which is just as popular as a place to live year-round.
The weather was great. It was hot. So many of the players were just in a swimsuit with no shirt on. It was not unusual for a photographer and a writer to show up at the hotel the team was staying in.
Today, you couldn't even get inside the hotel with it, you know, try to get close to these quarterbacks.
Certain names I knew. I grew up in the area, you know, you Johnny Sample and Mathis and George Sauer and all these guys. You'd see them walking around the hotel, but of course, then there's Namath.
We were enjoying the sun. Coach Eubank let us get out there in the middle of the day for a change.
He came up and sat around the pool on the beach chairs with part of the media and fans and the two friends he had, the two lady friends from Alabama.
The three ladies standing beside me, you only see two of them. They had driven from Tuscaloosa, Alabama down there. But when I see that picture, I see Brett Musburger.
I had not been around Joe until that week. And somebody who worked for the hotel said, well, you know, Mr. Namath, I remember he called him Mr. Namath, is out back. So we thought he was just probably sitting in a chair at a table when we go out. No, here he is in the lounge, stretched out. And it was mesmerizing when you saw him there.
You know, if you set this up, if a stylist came in, or a prop stylist, you couldn't have set this up better. And all laid out perfectly by accident. You have the Miami Herald sitting here. You have New York's picture newspaper, the Daily News, on this guy's head, with Joe Namath's picture and Coach Weeb Eubank.
Cy Burek has the newspaper over his head. He was a sports editor from Dayton, Ohio. And seated right next to him, as you look at it on the right, that's Chuck Heaton. He covered the Browns.
You know, he's got the tape finger. He's got a letter someone gave him, a brown envelope.
Right next to me is Ray's sons, who I traveled with. Ray worked for the Chicago Sun-Times. Jerry Green's behind us. He's from Detroit. And then standing up in the blue golf shirt, one hand on his hip, and then his right hand, if you look at that, that's a tape recorder. And you don't see his face, but that is a New York legend. That is Ed Ingles. Whenever SI puts out some kind of a coffee table book on the Super Bowl, they go back and they look at great pictures. That one's always in there. What am I asked the most about? Not Joe Willie Namath in a swimsuit, not Bain accent. Were you really wearing those Converse? Okay, it is fascinating to me what people see when they're looking at something. You know, what the mind's eye goes to, and of course I did remember the old Taylor cons that I wore around. They were inexpensive and they were comfortable.
Today, the hotel where the team is staying is off limits, and it's off limits with security to make sure it stays off limits. You simply don't get to see anything like this. He would not be sitting out there holding a mini press conference.
Who could do that today? Who could sit there and handle that scene? Because he was such a charming guy, Joe. But you think Tom Brady doing that? I don't think so. Aaron Rodgers? No. Joe was Joe.
Really looking forward to seeing that. That's going to do it for this Wednesday edition of SI Now. We'll be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern as we count down the days until Super Bowl 51. We're going to catch up with former wide receiver Chad Ochocinco, and we're going to debut the entire SI Now exclusive feature showcasing Super Bowl III. We'll hear more from Joe Namath and Brent Musburger. You're not going to want to miss that. Until then, stick with SI.com for all the latest news, and don't forget, follow us on Twitter at SI Now Live. Have a great day.